Download the BCSN Plus app today. Local sports all the time. Visit bcsnnation.com for details. Discounts may apply. Sidekicks on Sports Nightly is presented by Frogtown Johnny's, Toledo's #1 sports bar and grill since 1992.
The brackets for the high school boys and girls soccer tournaments in Ohio are finally out, and we're here to break it all down. Coach Francis Stevens joining us in studio. You ready?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
I am excited. Let's start on the girls' side. Division I, Region 1, and we begin with the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets at the 1 seed, looking for its first state title since 2012. But if it wants to do it, it might have to take on a Walsh Jesuit team that knocked them out 4-0 last year in the state Final Four. How do you like Perrysburg draw?
Well, I got them at chalk, obviously, and I think right there maybe Brunswick gets past Stowe Monroe Falls as you should. I mean, a 10-14 game. Teams are going to be really, really different. And this Walsh team, very, very well coached, very primed to be like, well, you got us once, but can you get us again? I don't know. So, but then on the other side, you still got Strongsville right there and Rocky River Magnificat, and both Perrysburg beat both of those teams there. I like Perrysburg to at least get to that round of 8, but it's going to be a tough road for them to get there.
All righty, let's take a look at the boys' side of things. Division I, Region 2, we have Perrysburg in this bracket at the 3 seed, but this is a tough draw. St. Ignatius, the #2 ranked team in the entire nation. Perrysburg probably has to play Strongville, 11-1 this season. What do you make of this bracket?
Well, I like Perrysburg, obviously. They're going to have a home game,
Yep.
so that's great. They don't have to worry about traveling all the way out to Lorraine or Cleveland, so I think they win that game. Lakewood St. Ed's, I like to see them. This is going to get the interesting part right here. So this team right here hasn't been within anywhere close to the team right here, right? And tied them last week 1-1, was actually winning the game up until the last 3 minutes of the game from a goal from Dom Ruggiero. Strongsville's got a really, really good team, but I think Perrysburg's kind of a little bit more complete package. I think Perrysburg has a chance to get to the round of 8 to play against St. Ignatius, who they lost to last year in the regional semifinal. That was a great game. It was a 0-0 game at halftime, so I thought the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets put themselves in good position, but again, you got to see what's going to happen in the round of 8.
That is a bracket to watch. Let's move to Division II, Region 5. On the girls' side, you have Anthony Wayne at the top seed. The Generals are 4-0 against teams in this bracket. Any chance the Generals don't make it out?
No. They can put them right there. That's chalk all the way through. Now, this part can get interesting here. Northview had a really nice result against Notre Dame Academy early in the year, but now you're going to play against them a second time. Notre Dame Academy has been out of 6 of the last 8 district finals. Chip Smith has very, very good tournament experience, making state tournament runs with Anthony Wayne and also Notre Dame a few years back in the Final Four. So I like the Generals potentially get a trip back to the Final Four. We'll see, because it's going to be a little bit different. You cannot rely on Lila Simon so much to do things for you. You're going to have other people step up for him.
All right, let's take a look at our next bracket. We're going to key in on a district now. Boys Division II, Northwest 1 district. Anthony Wayne and Clay. Anthony Wayne is the higher seed, is the 2 seed in this bracket, but the Generals and Clay, they haven't met in over a decade outside of scrimmages. What do you make of this bracket for Anthony Wayne?
I think Anthony Wayne's a little too, just the depth that they have, and also they're going to get some guys back as well, too, from injuries. So, I mean, we saw what their resilience was in that second half last night against Perrysburg. I like Anthony Wayne in that game to get to Ashland. We don't really know a lot about Ashland, but the one thing I will say about Ashland is they're going to be a very, very defensive team. I think Anthony Wayne gets a chance to get out and get to the Northeast, or at least the regional semifinal.
All right, let's move ahead in our brackets here.
Oh,
we have
boy,
St.
here we
Francis as the 1 seed in Division II,
Oh, man.
Northwest 2. St. Francis made it all the way to a regional semifinals a year ago, but what is different about the Knights this time around?
I don't think there's much of a difference. I think the biggest piece for them is I think they've gotten a little better at the back this year. Obviously, when they got Brennan back from injury, that really helped some big pieces. They got one of the best goalkeepers in the state. Now, the trilogy right here, St. Francis, St. John's. I'm going to give you a stat line. St. John's is 2-5 against St. Francis in district finals. 2-5.
Oh.
If history repeats itself, St. Francis makes their 4th straight trip back to regionals, and I think that can happen, but it's going to be a mountain to climb.
Alrighty, we move ahead.
Oh, boy.
Am I wrong for calling this the most loaded bracket in the field so far?
I would say so.
Man.
I would, listen, there's so much parity. So really, Springfield, I think, gets to at least right here. They definitely get right here. I don't think they'll have any problems with Fremont Ross or Central Catholic. They haven't had any problems with Fremont Ross. I think Springfield is built for this moment, you know, and I'm going to say this, like Birdman said, put some respect on Coach Sloan's name, please, because this guy has done a tremendous job of getting this program to where he wants it this is the opportunity. This is the chance right here that you have an opportunity to get to the Final 16 for the first time in your program's history.
All right, Division 5, Northwest 2, our final bracket here. Ottawa Hills as the 1 seed. What intrigues you so much about this bracket?
You know, I think if you really look at Ottawa Hills' track record, it's going to be history. They got experience. You know, a lot of those guys played in the district final last year. It was a tough loss to them against Van Buren last year, but it's going to be tough against a really good Ottoville team. And, you know, Putnam County League soccer down there is a whole different breed. I remember playing against those guys back in 2010 in the regional semifinal, and they punched us in the mouth in the first half. And, I mean, our kids are kind of like, what's going on here? But I like Ottawa Hills to get here. Maybe a potential chance for Ottawa Hills Tweedle Christian in a district there, but I think Ottawa Hills has enough just to get over the hump. But I'm going to tell you this right now. We can't forget about their counterparts, the TAC champions.
Yep.
You know, the number 3 ranked team in the state in Division 5, Maumee Valley Country Day School. 2004 was the last run they ever made back with Yusuf Ali Akbar back then. Lost in the regional final to a really good Fort Jennings team. That Maumee Valley team has got a legit chance to get to Columbus this year with all the talent that they have here in a couple weeks, right?
A masterclass. Man, Coach Francis Stevens joining us to break down the brackets. That was fantastic.
Thank you
and we
so
got much
much
more to come with the postseason. Thank you so much, Coach.
Absolutely.